this is a subject I really have not wanted to tackle for quite some time. But with Del Rio being fired, and then he posted a picture of the Mexicools, then it comes down to, is the WWE racist? They have had some really, really poorly done gimmicks. I went through a bunch of different ones, and someone threw out Kerwin White, and I was like, oh, I forgot about Kerwin White. Oh, if it ain't white, it ain't right. That was Chavo Guerrero. He came out in a golf cart, he had a caddy. Caddy later became Dolph Ziggler. Had this really bizarre theme music, had a golf cart, had like a, sweater vest. Just horrible. Mexicools. When you take Psychosis, Juventud Guerrero, Super Crazy, you put them on lawnmowers. Crime Time. One of the few tag teams to not be tag team champions. Okay. You do kind of see a lot of gimmicks that were just horribly done. You also see lots of wrestlers with tremendous talent who never really seem to break through that ceiling. I'm going to throw up a couple of names of people who have not been world champions. Shelton Benjamin. Even though he had some phenomenal runs. Still probably one of the best pure athletes. But he had a lisp. Flip that. Jack Swagger. Larger guy. I would say not as athletic. Had a lisp. Became champion. However, his champion runs were horrible. Again, he was a world heavyweight champion, never the WWE champion. Mark Henry has been a lifer with the company. When he mock retired to attack John Cena, he earned that championship. Even if it would have been just to have it for a month. He has earned that championship, especially at that time. He was so hot, he deserved that. Didn't get it. For a while, they were pushing Bobby Lashley to be the next big star. He was on the cusp. Then he quit. So there have been guys who have been right there, but I think in a lot of ways when it's like, well, who do you have? Do you have John Cena, who is the breadwinner? Do you have him lose to Bobby Lashley? No, you have Lashley put on a great fight with him, and then you have John Cena hit like an off-the-top rope, like FU or AA, whichever it was at the time. It's the same move, just different title. You have him hit that move, and it's a good, solid match. Bobby Lashley represented, I think it was Donald Trump in the hair versus hair match at WrestleMania. So he had some really good high-profile matches. He's also the ECW champion, but let's not remember that. Vince was the ECW champion. Go back even farther. When Booker T was wrestling Triple H at WrestleMania, Triple H took on a somewhat racist character. You people don't deserve to be champions. You would be better served as a limo driver. They threw comments out like that were heelish in nature. Michael Hayes made racist comments and almost got killed by Mark Henry. It's difficult because when you go to a wrestling event, you don't see a tremendous amount of non-white fans. I guess, again, depending on where you are. In the case of Del Rio. Del Rio, when he came out with his pseudo-Eddie Guerrero, pseudo-JBL heel character, he got over the crowd pretty well. Had a very safe ground style. Where people are used to seeing, he's a luchador, he's from Mexico, people are used to seeing more like a Rey Mysterio. And even the Eddie Guerrero, where he didn't do a tremendous amount of high-flying moves, but he did enough to keep the crowd really entertained. And Eddie Guerrero was a born entertainer. So you take a guy who people are used to seeing more high-flying moves, and you give him a really safe mat-based style. Okay. Really clean, really crisp, but kind of dull. His character, his promos, were fantastic. He showed up, good, he knew how to make it work. Then they did certain things that I think really killed it from a character standpoint. CM Punk wins a title at Money in the Bank in Chicago. Huge. He's white hot. Goes into a feud against John Cena. Still stupid white hot. Who takes the title? Del Rio. So you took the title off the hottest person in the company, put on Del Rio. For a few months later, Del Rio loses it again. They then had him do a really bad face turn. The only benefit of that face turn was the double turn they did when Ziggler was heel, Del Rio was face, and they switched. That was about it. He needed the mouth. He needed Ricardo Rodriguez. Ricardo did a great job. Also was a great wrestler. But just didn't quite... Once they broke those two up, Del Rio, he had his heel persona, went to a face persona, then went back to the exact same heel persona. He really didn't have as much progression as you would have hoped that he would have had. Then he had a feud with Batista, where to Del Rio's credit, man, he tried his best to make Batista, who had ring rust, look fantastic. But he just didn't gel with the fans unless they were in places where there were more Hispanic fans. Maybe I'll mention Sin Cara. Sin Cara showed up tremendous amount of potential. They did vignettes, they had all this stuff. They were like, he is your next Mysterio. Kind of sloppy on the ring. Hunico takes his place. Hunico actually does a really solid job in the Sin Cara character. You're like, well, okay. Rey Mysterio, former champion. Eddie Guerrero, former champion. Lots of other guys, yeah. It's not going to happen. Not everyone is there to win a title, which is always sad. Now we're going to go back to... Okay, so I have the Raw split up right here. So, Alicia Fox, former Divas champion. Okay, now we got Big E Langston. He's held a mid-card title. He was also an NXT champion. Cameron. We'll keep on going. Okay. Darren Young. Half a successful tag team in the Primetime Players. Once they made the rape joke, that really butchered the Primetime Players. They're one of the other tag teams to have never become tag team champions. David Otunga. Great potential to be a talker. Former member of Nexus, as was Darren Young. Otunga's not doing anything right now. The Rock. Yeah, The Rock is still considered one of the most successful black athletes. You know, he's the person who held your major title. Ava Marie, technically I think she is like Italian-Mexican. I don't think she's going to have a really tremendous career. Fernando Diego, Los Matadores, wow, yeah, I cannot defend that. Cannot defend that one at all. I can't. Hunico. Oh, they sold him there as that. Kofi Kingston. Captain Glass Ceiling. He is so close to the glass and he's actually touching it. In fact, he is touching it and like hanging from it. Again, super gifted athlete. Ironically, his feud with Orton should have been what put him into the main event. Orton wasn't a big fan of him. Thought that his character wouldn't get over as well as it should have. You know, super over with kids. I put him in the Shelton Benjamin category. He's a guy you put into a ladder match or you put into a battle royal or a Royal Rumble. Super athletic, super entertaining. Just, he needs a character change before he'll really actually do anything. Hopefully, if they ever do the combination of Kofi, Big E, Xavier Woods, man, even throw in Otunga for that one too, to be like the league representative for them, and have them be an actual stable. As people who are kind of put down and downtrodden, that could be a tremendous boost for Kingston. I think if Kingston were to go heel, freshen up his character a little bit, I think he could really, really go places. But currently there's one big title, so no one's really going to get that title. Layla, Moroccan, former Divas champion. Mark Henry. He's held every belt except for the big one, even though he easily should have held the big one. Currently he's losing to Bo Dallas. Doesn't really help the racism thing that much. Naomi. She won't be Divas champ because she's not Total Divas. And when she was on the cusp of getting the title, she gets her orbital bone broken. R-Truth. Man. R-Truth was somebody who, when he was K-Quick, he was exciting, he was entertaining. He was a Kofi Kingston back then. Goes to TNA, becomes their world champion. That was back when it was NWA TNA, where they cared about good wrestlers. Now you can tell he's older. He still puts on entertaining matches, but you know he's not going to hold the title. He's there to get a good-sized paycheck and to put on a good match. But you know he's not going to get that next big push. Rey Mysterio. He's currently waiting for his contract to expire. Again, former multiple-time champion. Rosa Mendez, she won't hold the title because she's on Total Divas. Sin Cara, current NXT Tag Champ. What half the Lucha Dragons? They defeated the longest reigning tag champs in the Ascension. He works well in the tag match. If they were to bring up some of the cruiserweights, you could have an awesome cruiserweight division. You actually could showcase more of the other ethnicities when it comes to the talent of the great high flyers. So Sin Cara, this version, solid performer, good job. But again, he's a high flyer, so he's not going to become a big champion. Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil has every single thing that Vince looks for in a wrestler. He is a monstrous individual. If you've heard him talk, he's the same like Big E Langston. Big E Langston is Twitter, great. He shows a nice comedic timing. He shows that he can make it work. Titus O'Neil did some spots where he was like Uncle Rufus. Funny. He knows how to work a crowd. Big dude. He's got everything Vince normally looks for. Big, muscular guy. You know, pretty solid in the ring. Great big man spots. Love Clash the Titus. Works well. Why he is not in some sort of title contention, I don't know. I mean, if you were to have had Titus O'Neil and Big E Langston feud over the U.S. Championship, that could have been some great hard-hitting battles. At this time, I'm surprised Titus hasn't been fed to Rusev. Yes, Rusev initially had lots of matches with R-Truth. Kofi Kingston had a really great feud with Big E Langston. I'd probably say Rusev's best feud was with Big E Langston. Big E's like spear through the ropes to the guy on the apron to the outside. Beautiful move. Beautiful. Nice spot. Super impactful. Surprised Titus O'Neil didn't get a shot at Rusev. Now he's in kind of a joke tag team with Heath Slater. But they kind of win. So, it's not too bad. He is making his way on NXT, so I'm thinking they're going to use him at NXT to help build up some of the other guys. Really low now. Xavier Woods. When they brought him in from TNA he was super over it, good high flyer. Then, as Xavier Woods, man, it's just not working. They give him the Funkadactyls, they have him feud with Tons of Funk until they break up. He didn't seem to cement him at all. They have him pair with R-Truth, didn't seem to cement him at all. The finisher they gave him, like the rolling into a clothesline, is horrible. Horrible. That's why I thought when they're going to make the New Nation stable, guy can talk. Guy's a very prolific talker. You put some people who have different in-ring styles. You know, he's very much kind of a mat-based. If you had him as mat-based, with a little bit of speed thrown in there, with Kofi Kingston's like speed and high flying, and the groundwork and the power you can get from like a Mark Henry or a Big E Langston, that is an amazing stable. Not doing anything with him. I think, yeah, that's basically about it. Now, of course, if you look at all the current champions, that's when it gets kind of sad. Lesnar. But Lesnar brings in money. He brings in money hand over fist. Dolph Ziggler. Perennial fan favorite, puts on a great match. Sheamus. Irish. Even though he looks like mayonnaise. He's ridiculously white as the U.S. champion. AJ, Divas Champ. You know, so it is kind of weird because there's not that many people in the E currently that are non-Anglo. Look at the fan base. The fan base is somewhat representative of what you see in the roster. So it's that weird tipping point. You know, do you bring in more non-Anglo wrestlers with the hope of that, you know, people will be like, hey, that's a new guy? To actually then change the dynamic of the audience? Or do you wait for the audience to kind of change to then change what your roster looks like? I know this has been a very long video and it's probably seemed like I've made absolutely no points at all. I understand the E is racist. I understand that viewpoint. Personally, I don't really see it. There are lots of guys who definitely should have had better careers than what they did have. They normally had some sort of limitation. You know, Shelton Benjamin, they gave him the gimmick where his mama came to the ring with him. Wow. That's going to put a World Heavyweight Championship on you. Coming to the ring with your mama. Because he couldn't really talk. Team Angle, beautiful. World's Greatest Tag Team, beautiful. His singles work, the match he had with Shawn Michaels just showed how athletic he is. But he kind of fell into a Dolph Ziggler sort of role. Super athletic, over with the crowd, but just not quite hitting that next big leap. You know, Swagger did it, but when Swagger hit that, man, they had big things for him. He was supposed to be the next Kurt Angle, and he fizzled and died horribly.